For more on this, I'm joined by Stephen Seaka. He's the ABSA Head of Public Sector. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News.
Thanks for inviting us.
Sure. We saw Statistics South Africa saying that 69,000 jobs had been lost in the second quarter in the formal sector. What practical steps do you think we need to take to stem these job losses that we're continually seeing?
Yeah, thank you. I think the Job Summit is a welcome initiative. We South Africans have done great things when we put our minds into it. I see the day sort of culminating into two ways. The first day, we'll be discussing more around the policies that have hindered us from making sure that we employ people. So the mining charter, can we get a finalization on it? The spectrum, can we get a finalization on it? You saw something on the tourism sector as well, the sector that has been growing by 8% annually. That can we do something to increase the visit of foreigners into our country, because we indeed have a beautiful country. They say we have the 3 Bs. You have the beach, we have the bag, and we have the bush. So we are one of the few countries that has that. So the second part will be to see how we practicalize some of the things that we can do. So countries like India, for instance, and even say Mauritius joined them, they were big on call centers. Let's develop a cheap way of having call centers and assist global companies around it. So we need to be looking at South Africa and saying, what are the things and what are our strengths that we can use.
I'm glad you've brought up that issue of cheap call centers. When I was speaking to the Institute of Race Relations a week ago, they were saying that we need to stop focusing on university qualifications because we keep on seeing this problem of unemployed graduates, and saying that people should be lowly skilled and lowly paid just as long as they have jobs. What's your take on that?
I will tend to agree with it. In South Africa, we have glorified a degree qualification, whereas other countries like Germany, the FET colleges, or the TVETs as they're called now, where people are taught motor mechanics, plumbing, electrical engineering. Those are the things that they prioritize, and they take people just from matric into the workplace. So South Africa in the past used to have things called apprenticeship, where individuals will just attend these TVETs while they're working at an institution. So state-owned entities, Transnet, on Eskom, Telkom, used to employ over and above in the region of 50,000 more people, and they were giving skills to these individuals. So where are the apprentices? We need to be asking in this job summit, what can we do to make sure that we have skilled labor, that people, even if they're not getting any job somewhere, they can open their own businesses, because those are needed.
So the presidency and President Cyril Ramaphosa have been trying to push for job creation. One of those initiatives was the Yes Initiative. That's been criticized for being a glorified internship that's going to exploit young people to give companies benefits that they have already.
Correct.
So what's your thoughts on that? And then do we also need to look at a new way of creating work that doesn't focus on extracting as much for as little pay as possible for people who are entering the job market?
Yeah, I think we must be careful. A job is a job. When we get an experience, it's an important thing to an individual, and they always put that in their CVs, and that sort of propels them to the next level. The issue about the Yes Initiative, good as it is, unfortunately you can't legislate employment. By that I mean the discussions about jobs also talks about the growth. And so we have to look at how we grow the economy of South Africa so that individuals can be employed. So we can't dictate and say Sasol employs so many people when Sasol is not growing or when ABSA is not growing. And so part of the policies I talked about is around the spectrum as well. It's about data. A lot of young people are saying, look, the generations of future jobs are on the 4th industrial revolution, which is IT, creating apps. And so to an extent, that data is expensive in South Africa and then other countries. It's prohibiting some of the innovative things that can happen. When you talk to young people, they're more fascinated about apps and things that are technologically placed, like gaming and things like that.
Thanks so much for your time, Stephen Seaka. He's the head of public sector at ABSA, speaking to us about the job summit that is taking place tomorrow.